Hello everyone, my name is Dhiren and I'm working as a solutions engineer with Exalate. Uh, Today in this video I'm going to show you how you can integrate ServiceNow with Zendesk using Exalate. So let's get started. I've opened the documentation page here for the reference. So how Exalate works is that it's a decentralized app, which means that it needs to be installed on both the sides that you want to connect. So you can just follow this documentation. In my case, the installation is already done on both sides. You can just follow this documentation to continue with the installation process. Just to give you an idea, it's an app that's listed on the respective stores. So, for example, on the Zendesk side, you can install it from the Zendesk marketplace, and for ServiceNow, you can do it from the ServiceNow store. So, it's a ServiceNow certified app. Okay, let's get started with the connections. So once you install the app, you can find Exalate on ServiceNow. You can type in console and you will find Exalate Bridge here. On the Zendesk side, yeah, you can just click on this Exalate icon wherein you can find the app. Now let's get started. So on the connections page, you will see these two buttons, initiate connection and accept invitation. This is also available on the other side. So what we do here is that we just initiate connection from one side, assuming this is, let's say, a source. Then what we need to do is we need to provide a destination instance URL. So in this case, as we want to connect with Zendesk, it becomes our target. So we'll just copy this connection, copy this URL and paste it here. This becomes our destination. And then Exalate gives us these two configuration types to choose from. Now we'll go with the basic mode first. So with the basic mode, you cannot really edit the sync rules, which means that you can only synchronize four fields with it by default, which includes the subject or the short description, let's say from ServiceNow, the description, attachments, and comments, and you can only synchronize incident type of tickets. So it's recommended for very basic complexity type of use cases. Um, if you want to synchronize other types of tickets, like for example problems or change requests, any other type of ticket at all, then we would go with the script mode. That's something that we'll take next. So let's click on the next button, and here it gives us two options again. Yes, we do have admin access, or no, we don't have admin access. So I can go with any one of them because I'm already logged in with an admin on the other side. But just let's say that if you don't have the admin access on the other side, it will generate an invitation code. You can just click on the initiate button. You can copy this code and go to the other side wherein you just need to accept the invitation using the same code. So that's all we do. We click on the next button, and yep, the connection is established successfully. So now if you refresh the page, you would find that there is a connection. So this is just the instance short name when 309 03946. This is our source instance, and D3V Dalco is the target instance here. Okay, awesome. So the connection is now active. If you just refresh it on the ServiceNow console as well, you would see that it's active. Once you edit the connection, you would see this section. There's a scope section. If you go to rules, there's only these four fields that you see are mapped. So type is just the incident here, and then short description, comments, and attachments. If you want to add more fields, then you would need to upgrade this to script mode. So let's just first see how it works. So let's say that we want to synchronize those tickets which match a filter. So we can just create our own filter. Let's say that if the priority of the ticket is, let's say, set to critical, then those tickets we want to sync with Zendesk. So what we need to do is we just copy our query and we go to triggers here, wherein we can create our own trigger which says priority equals 1. Then we choose the connection through which it needs to synchronize, and then we activate our trigger. So it can be set to anything, it's just an example. Now we create a new incident here, we give it some details. Let's say caller priority is something that we would set to critical, So the impact and urgency is set to high so that priority becomes critical. A new test incident created in ServiceNow. This incident, my bad. This incident will sync to Zendesk. Okay, awesome. Let's create this. Okay, as soon as we create this incident, this should be now picked up as the priority of the ticket is critical, and that's exactly what we have our filter. Yeah, so our filter will choose this and it will get synchronized shortly. Now we have a sync queue wherein you would see what all synchronizations are happening in real time. We have it again on the other side also, so both the sides have their own outgoing and incoming sync queue. As soon as the transactions gets processed, it just gets removed from the queues. Let's go back to the Zendesk side, refresh our page. So this ticket got synchronized 11022. This is the one. On the Zendesk side as well, if you go to the main connections page, you would see that 2692 got synchronized like 45 seconds ago. Uh, one sec, I just need to probably open this. 2692. Let's open it. All right. So yeah, there's our ticket. So this just got synchronized a couple of seconds ago. uh, it even says the description. Now if you see, you get a link here. There's a sync panel which shows you the connection through which it is synchronized, the status of sync, and a remote link back to ServiceNow. So this is a linkage. If And this is fully bidirectional, by the way. So if we even give a comment from Zendesk and we save this, this will this change would again be picked up and synchronized back to ServiceNow in a couple of seconds. So as soon as I make a change, the status goes to waiting for remote. Uh, yeah. We can even add an attachment. That's fine. It's synchronized. If we go back, let me just reload this form. If you come down, you would see that Exalate integration, it added a comment and it says comment from Zendesk. Let's try to add an attachment as well. um one sec, was this one? uh, Bad example. Okay, let's take this one. By the way, all types of attachments are supported via Exalate. There's no restriction as such. Any type of attachment that the end system supports is supported by Exalate as well. So the log file is added here, and within a couple of seconds, this again would be synchronized on the Zendesk side. Just give it a few seconds, please. Yeah, that's how it looks. So it says new attachment received, and then this is the log file. um okay, so this was the basic mode. You can't really make any more customizations here, so these four fields are the ones that are supported. You can create your own trigger. Trigger is just used for automation, the one that I showed you, like this. We can even create a trigger on Zendesk in case ticket needs to be created in Zendesk first, and then it needs to go like synchronize with ServiceNow. All right, now let's go ahead with the script mode. So let's edit this connection. Let's upgrade the connection to script mode. All right, awesome. Now with the script mode, you get the outgoing and incoming sync rules on each sides for a lot of flexibility and customization. So if let's say we just edit this connection, you would see outgoing incoming on Zendesk, and there's an outgoing incoming on ServiceNow as well. So the outgoing sync pretty much controls what information you need to send out from that system. So for example, if you look at the ServiceNow outgoing sync, this is what is going out of ServiceNow at the moment, and this would get handled in the incoming sync of Zendesk. So whatever ServiceNow sends in the outgoing, this would be handled in the incoming here. How this happens is very easy. We just write our logic on what type of information we want to send. So for example, this is a template which covers the example of incident, but similarly we can send problem, other tickets like change requests and so on. Now what happens here is that whenever this script gets executed, on the right side these are the fields that are available on the incident form, like the short description, attachments, comments, state, etc. We can write our own custom fields as well. So for example, if we want to synchronize, let's say, Jira mood, for example, so this says you underscore Jira underscore mood, so we'll just write replica dot mood equal to entity dot u underscore Jira underscore mood. So this part is actually the field name. This should match this one because it's internal name, and this replica is just a variable. You can write anything here. It's what ServiceNow sends out to Zendesk, and when this comes to the Zendesk side, in the incoming sync, you can handle it by writing your own piece of code. So to synchronize custom fields, there is an example written here. We say that issue dot custom fields dot, and then the name of the field that we want to sync this with. Let's say on my Zendesk side, I have this. For example, this is the field that I want to sync it with. So I come here, I just write this dot value equal to, and then whatever is being sent over from replica. So in the replica, I just share replica dot mood. So I come here and replica dot mood. All right, now let's publish this and this as well. Forgot to do this, my bad. Okay, now let's add something here. Jira mode is happy, and we save this. All right, now let's wait for the synchronization to happen. So let's come back on the ticket, and you see that the field is populated with the value happy. To sync it again bidirectionally, what we need to do is we need to add this in the outgoing sync of Zendesk. So we come here, this time we add this in the outgoing. So we say replica dot and then whatever we want to. So in this case, anything is fine. It's just a label, so you can add whatever you want to. So replica dot custom fields dot this equal to issue dot custom fields dot and then this. So you publish this, and here on the incoming side on the service now, you can say that entity dot, and then here you need to use the internal name because it's the value that you want to sync it to that field. So we use entity dot, this is what we need to use, and then equal to replica dot custom fields dot, and then what's the name of the field, sorry, this one, yeah, and then a dot value ahead of it. Why dot value? There's a different story here. Now let's just remove this and let's make it easy. Let's see what happens here. So when I try to publish this, and when we, let's say, make an update here, happy happy happy, all right, and then let's submit it. Let's see what happens. Okay, let's go back here. So happy 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 isn't synchronized, but what happened is that you might get an error when the synchronization happens. So okay, so the synchronization did happen, but the happy value, the latest value, did not get copied over. Now let's debug this. What the problem is, let's try to deliberately generate an error here. Let's say debug dot error, and then we say why happy happy wasn't printed. Let's again make an update here. Let's go back. All right, so we have an error here. It's because of the statement that we wrote in script. Now we go to details, and there is this button, show remote replica, which gives you everything that Zendesk is sending over from the outgoing. Now if you just search for happy, yeah, this is the latest value. But if you see where it comes in JSON, this is like a JSON based response. So if you just read it, it says custom fields, service desk ticket number, and inside that there is a value tag. So if you want to fetch it from JSON, what you would write is replica dot custom fields dot service desk ticket number dot value. This is what we would write to get this value fetched. So let's go back again here. Let's edit the connections. Let's just comment this out and just write a dot value here. And now just publish it, resolve it again. Now if you go back to the ticket and let's just reload this form, you would see that the custom field is now populated with the latest value. So this is how we sync it bidirectionally. You can do a lot of things here. It's not only about custom fields. Let's say that you want to synchronize statuses. In the outgoing sync, what you do is you just map the status. So this is how the state goes over from Zendesk from ServiceNow. In the incoming of Zendesk, there are certain code snippets which you can readily use, or you can even make the use of our documentation. So you can just go to Ada, and she is our AI assistant. You can click on get started and ask a lot of, ask for code basically. So just write how to sync status in Zendesk, for example, and you can choose the scope. Let's say ServiceNow. Yeah, it's fine. You can just ask anything. Just bear with it for a minute. In the meanwhile, I'll also show you what the documentation search looks like. So there is a magnifying glass here. You can just click on that and you can search for articles like how to sync status in Zendesk. And the best part is that you get a lot of code snippets. You can just copy this in the incoming, because this is what we need to copy over. And Ada would have also said you the same thing. So there are documentations here that is available. And yeah, you can even use this issue.set status function that is mentioned in the documentation as well. So yeah, let's go back. Let's do some more scripting. Let's say this is a status map that we would create. Now what's the status that we want to map? So let's say we have new, in progress, and let's take a simple example of 2 3 values. Let's say we have new, in progress, and resolved. These are the 3 values that we'll take. So we go back here. Now the first value here is remote value. So this one would be ServiceNow values. So new, in progress, and resolved. New, in progress, and resolved. Now we want to map them with the target Zendesk values. We have new, open, pending, on hold, and solved. So we'll just take 2 or 3 of them. So we say new, pending, and solved. These 3 is something that we're going to take. Now just keep this thing in mind that the Zendesk API gives us the status values in lowercase. These are case sensitive, so we just need to uh, be a little sure that we use the right status names. So new, pending, and solved. So we say new, pending, and solved, and we just publish this. Now let's change the status to in progress. One more thing. So if you see the replica which is getting fetched, it says replica.status.name in the example, but in our case it would be replica.state, because the ServiceNow side is sending the state in replica.state. Basically, the value of the actual state is getting sent over in replica.state. So that's the reason we changed this. We might need to just again publish this. um, let's go back here, and now if you see, the state is changed to pending. If we again try to just resolve this, I might need to provide some resolution node. Resolved, we save it, and this would again trigger a synchronization, and the state would become solved here. Just bear with it, please. All right, let's so you see the status is not now solved. So yeah, that is how you can synchronize custom fields, statuses, and there is a lot to explore. You can synchronize user fields, priority, like other types of fields as well, date fields, for example, and all that stuff as well. So yeah, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you liked it. Bye bye.